What's up guys, Perry from Rockville here, and today we're going to teach you how to set up your Cube 70 volt swivel wall mount speakers. But before we dive in, let me quickly explain how 70 volt systems work. Now 70 volt amps allow you to run a large amount of speakers at a fixed and constant wattage off 1 amp. So you could run over 100 speakers off 1 amp if you match the wattage being drawn by the speakers to the ability of the amp. We can do that by tapping each speaker to a specific watt amount by using the tap controls on the back of each speaker. So for example, if I have an amp that's 100 watts, I can tap each speaker to 5 watts, giving me the ability to run 20 speakers. So to connect these speakers to your amp, you'll want to take the red wire and feed it through the hole of the positive terminal, and then you'll want to do the same thing with the black wire through the negative terminal. And if you want to wire your speakers in parallel, you would want to daisy chain the speakers by wiring the positive wire from one speaker to the positive terminal of the next speaker, and then you'll want to do the same thing for the negative wires all the way down your chain till it reaches back to the amp. Now if you're using a multi-zone amp with these speakers, that opens up the flexibility of where you can control the audio and how you can set it up in your space. But the same principles apply. You have to match the tapped wattage amount from your speakers to each zone's recommended wattage amount, and you'll be good to go. And after that, you'll have independent volume controls of the different speakers in the different zones. Now, if you want to learn even more about 70 volt technology, check out our video, What is 70 volt? So let's head over to Mike, who's going to show us how to set up these speakers.
What is up guys, Mike from Rockville, and today we are looking at the Cube 70 volt speakers from Rockville, which are 3.5-inch two-way commercial 70 volt speakers that come with a swivel wall mount bracket. It's available in 2 different colors of black and white. Okay, with the mounting brackets, it's a very simple mechanism. You have your main bracket that goes right on the wall. You have the ball joint, which goes right in here, and then you have the cover for the ball joint that screws on right over it. Also included in the kit is an optional safety chain which you can install when you're putting on the speaker bracket on the wall. With this bracket, you have a full 360 degrees with where you can point the speaker. Now you might be wondering why I'm making such a big deal about swivel mount brackets for our 70 volt speakers. But you gotta think, if you're using this in a commercial setting, like a restaurant or a bar, you really want to be able to point your speakers in the most optimal position to create an even and balanced sound stage. Let me give you an example. If I have a restaurant and I have all my 70 volt speakers set up throughout the whole restaurant, I want to make sure all of my customers are getting the same listening experience. Now with 70 volts, a lot of the application is low level listening. So with a 360 bracket, I'm literally able to position the speaker in the most optimal position and make sure everyone's kind of hearing in the same way. Also, you can see the non-obtrusive design that allows me to put the speaker virtually anywhere. Now, usually speakers that are this directional and compact are only one-way speakers, but ours are two-way speakers, which means you are going to get a fuller frequency response because the 3.5-inch woofer is handling the low end and the mids, while the tweeter is taking care of the high end. Now, before I show you what these guys sound like, there's still one thing I need to talk about. A while ago, we made a video called What is 70 volt? It's on our YouTube channel, you can check it out. But since these are 70 volt speakers, they have something called a 70 volt tap. Now, the way the tap works is it allows you to change the amount of watts being drawn from your amplifier to this speaker. Let me show you how you tap them on our quick disconnect Euro block terminals. They're called quick disconnect because you just pull and they come right off. So over here we have the 1.5 watt tap, our 3 watt tap, our 6 watt tap, and our C is our ground. In the C terminal, you're always going to put the black wire, and depending on what you tap this speaker at, you would then put your red speaker wire in one of these 3 holes. And the cool thing about 70 volt systems is because each speaker has a built-in transformer, all of the wiring is super easy. It's all parallel wiring, which just means you're going from positive to positive and negative to negative. When I tapped the speakers at 1.5 watts, it sounded really loud. And then when I went up to 6 watts, it sounded even louder. But that's the beauty of 70 volts. When you have all of the speakers spread out through the room pointed in the most optimal soundstage positions, 1.5 watts is going to sound loud. On top of playing music across your space, if your amp is capable, a lot of people use 70 volt speakers to make PA announcements or send messages using chimes and bells. 70 volt speakers like the Cube series from Rockville are still the #1 choice when you are trying to put a lot of speakers over a large area. And the best thing about 70 volts is you can mix and match between different speakers, whether it's a ceiling speaker or a wall mounted speakers, and between brand, and you don't have to worry as long as they are all 70 volt speakers. So if you are looking for a pair of sleek, powerful, and versatile two-way 3.5-inch 70 volt speakers that come with a wall mount swivel bracket, look no further than the Cube series from Rockville.
So hopefully this showed you guys how easy it is to set up your Cube 70 volt swivel wall mount speakers. However, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to reach out to our customer support team through phone or email. We'll see you guys next time.